Hey guys, Abelom here with our guitar lesson number 3. I hope you've been practicing the first 4 chords and 4 arpeggio positions, because now we're going to learn the last 2 chord shapes and the last 2 arpeggio shapes. Before we move on, I already showed on the first arpeggio shape where the tonics were, as well as on the second arpeggio shape. So the first major arpeggio and the first minor arpeggio. Now, on the last lesson, I showed you guys the second arpeggio shape for both major and minor. For the major, let's do a little recap. This is where the first arpeggio G was, and we ended right here. This is where the second arpeggio G, and it was like this. 1, 4, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 4, right? Now, what I did not tell you guys is that you have 2 tonics in this position. This is one of your tonics, so that would be a G, and the other one is right here. So when you're playing this position, you can always end on this G, or if you're going up, you can end on that G. Now, of course, as we change chords, it won't be a G, but it will still be a tonic. This is the tonic for this second arpeggio shape, and this is the tonic for the second major arpeggio shape. Now, for the second minor arpeggio shape, we were up here. And I realized on the last video that I went over the minor kind of quickly because the video was getting long. So I'm going to do it again here. And instead of telling you 1, 4, 5, etc., I'm going to tell you what fret it is so it's not confusing for you guys. So we're on fret 11, right there. Then we're on 10 for these two. Then we're on 13, then 12, then 13 again. Then we're on 11 and 15. Alright? So 15, 11, 13, 12, 13, 10, 10, 11. Alright? Okay, so the tonics on the second arpeggio shape in minor is right here on the 4th string and right here on the 2nd string. So again, we're doing, so this one right here on the 2nd string is your tonic, this one right here on your 4th string is your tonic. So when you're ending that arpeggio or starting the arpeggio, starting on that tonic will sound good no matter what. Now, I will also add that since we are doing arpeggios using the 1, 3, and 5, the tonic, the 3rd, and the 5th note in the scale, in the key, no matter where you start, it's going to sound good. But it will sound best on the tonic if you want to begin or end the arpeggio there. So, again, so it's clear, starting on the 13th fret, I'm sorry, the 11th fret. 11, 10, 10, that's a tonic. Then 13, then 12, then 13, that's a tonic. Then 11, and then 15. And it connects to the original shape right there. Again, that's C minor, and where that one ends, the next one begins, and there's your C minor. Alright, that is the only review I wanted to go over with you guys, because this one is kind of a big one. Today, we're going to go over the last 2 shapes for both the major and the minor, and they will seem familiar to many of you who use bar chords. I know that some of you are already using the 6-string bar chords, as well as the 5-string bar chords. And today's lesson is all about the 5-string bar chords that translate directly into arpeggio shapes. Let's go over the major shape first. This is the 3rd shape, and it's based off of the open chord A major. You guys may know already how to play it. That's it right there. These 3 fingers on the 2nd fret of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Now, you may know that you don't play all 6 strings, you only play the top 5 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 strings. But when you're doing a bar chords, let's again pretend like you're holding the nut there and you're sliding up. So this is the A. You slide up 2 frets. That would be a B major. There's a C major, D major, E major, F major, and so on. Now, when you're playing the bar chord, you actually can bar these two strings, the top two, the bottom two, 5 and 6, and if you wanted to, you could play all 6 strings. With the open chord, typically you don't play all 6 strings because this low E is lower than the A, and people will find it more pleasing if you play the lowest note as your tonic. If you play the E, it'll still work. And when you're playing bar chords, you can also play that 6th string, this one. Now, when it comes to the arpeggio, this is one of the most challenging, but also one of the most rewarding and fun. So we definitely can't go without it. And because it is a complex shape, I'm going to also teach you it by the frets, not how many fingers you are away from the beginning, because you're going to be doing some pretty big stretches, okay? Now, and according to the song that we're learning, the chosen song Creep by Radiohead, we have G major, B major, C major, and C minor. Now, for G major, we're starting here and we're going up to here. The next step in G major is actually up here. So let's talk about that shape. This would be the G major bar chord. And I know you can't hear it very well because I'm not playing very loud, but that's a G major bar chord. We're working our way up slowly. A major, B major, C major, D major, E major, F major, and G major. But the way to play this chord, once again, this one is starting where the other G major was ending, just like before. This G major ends here, and the next G major starts right here. To play the G major arpeggio, you're going to start with this 6th string on fret 10, okay? And you're going to bar these two together. Then you're going to play the 9th fret on the 4th string. So you got your little chord there. Now you're going to go up to the 12th fret, and you're going to bar these 3. And then the 10th fret on the E string, and the 15th fret on the E string. Okay? Now, I don't really care if you guys bar them or if you use other fingers, like so. What I want you to memorize is the shape. I don't care how you use your fingers, and I don't care how you pick it, because you're going to find a way that works best for you without thinking too much about it. But again, our first arpeggio shape started down here, and it ended here. Our second arpeggio shape started here and ended here, and this is where the third one starts. And it's a really rewarding arpeggio shape when you start playing over background tracks. That is going to be coming in the next lesson. For this lesson, I just wanted to show you that shape. So now when we're playing Creep, we can go from the G here, up to the G here, up to the G here. Or we can start here and go down here and down here. We have 3 different places that we can play the G. And it's a beautiful thing. You're going to find out why in a moment. But let's go ahead and show you the next step, which is how to play that same shape with the B major and the C major. Now let's begin with the B major. I've been showing you guys the B major here on the 7th fret. And then we learned to do it also on the 11th fret. And just like with the G, the next one would start up here. But we're getting really high on the fretboard, which is great when you start to get comfortable with that. But I'm going to show you also that it fits down here, because where the 3rd position ends, the 1st position begins. You guys already know the 1st position, and you just learned the 3rd position for the G. The 3rd position for the B, same shape, but starts here on the 2nd fret. So you're barring these two, or playing it with your middle finger and your ring finger, doesn't matter to me, but it's like this. And then you're playing the 1st fret on the 4th string, the 4th fret on the 4th string, the 4th fret on the 3rd, 4th fret on the 2nd, the 2nd fret on the E, and the 7th fret on that E string. And that's your B. So again, and there's your chord, which is a B major. Again, you can play it with your fingers individually, or you can bar them. As you can see, barring makes it faster. So that is the beginning of the B. So let's also learn the C. The C is up 1/2 step, 1 fret. So right here would be the C. Alright, so now you guys have learned all 3 chord shapes and arpeggio shapes for the G major, the B major, and the C major, which is actually a really big deal because you can now play every single major chord on the entire neck. And we're going to get into practice with that so you can see what I mean. Before I introduce any chords to you, I'm going to show you where to find them. And after you practice with backing tracks, it's going to become very natural to you to know, hey, I can play a G here, I can play a G here, I can play a G here, I can play an A. It's going to come second nature, and you're also going to know the tonics. I'm not showing you the tonics right now. We'll get to that. Now we're going to move on to the third chord for minor. So just like with the major, A major chord, we're learning the A minor chord. This is the A minor open chord. Just like before, you typically don't play the 6th string. You don't typically play this string because the E is a lower note than the A. It doesn't sound as pleasing to the ear as it could be. So you usually play just the 5 strings. But you can play with the 6th if you want to. Now you translate this directly into a bar chord. If you were to switch your fingers again and put your pointer finger where the nut is and move up, now you have a 5-string bar chord. This is an A sharp minor, here's a B minor, here's a C minor, D minor, E minor. Now a lot of you already know this shape because you say, okay, this is the A major and this is the D minor. And the next arpeggio shape comes from this shape. And this one's actually pretty simple, pretty fun, but also a bit of a stretch. So again, I'm not going to go over 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, 4 finger. I'm going to tell you what frets to play so it's not ambiguous at all. We are learning it with the C minor. That was the first position. The second position, C minor, was up here. And I could show you the next one up here, but instead I'm going to show you down here, okay? This is the C minor. And the way you play the arpeggio, once again, you bar these 2 strings, 6 and 5. Alright? Then you hit the 6th fret on the 5th string. Now you can bar these 2, or you can use your ring and pinky, but it's the 5th fret on the 4th and 3rd strings. Then you're playing the 4th fret on the 2nd string, and the 3rd fret on the E string, and you're reaching way up to the 8th fret on the E string, okay? So again, it's and backwards. Alright? Now, this is also a really, really fun arpeggio shape, and again, just like all the other shapes, these are ideal for sweep picking. If you were going to play, it's kind of hard to do the stretch down here, but if you're going to play it up here, you'll see that it's really quite fun. Right? And the same thing goes for the major one. Okay? Now, you have officially learned all 3 chord shapes and all 3 arpeggio shapes. But I'm still going to demonstrate for you the magic of this technique and why it's going to bring the whole guitar together for you so that you can play an entire song in one position on the neck, and another position, and another position. And seamlessly go from chord to chord without moving your hand unless you want to move your hand. And it just becomes fun, and you have a very wide range. I once read that a typical guitar has 3 octaves of range, and this is going to push you to the very limit of that. So once again, the human ear really loves it. I'm going to show you how I practice creep on a regular basis to make sure that I have a good understanding of how all the majors and minors connect together. And after you practice that, the next step is learning to change the chords and go over backing tracks in different keys. which is exactly what we've been working up to. But let's go ahead and do a demonstration of creep. So I'm going to show you a demonstration on this technique going from different positions on the neck but playing the correct chords, because we can play all 4 chords from a single position, and we can play it here, we can play it here, we can play it here, and even higher. But I'm going to show you the beauty of this technique. Let's begin like we always have begun down here, okay? So I'm playing the G major first with the first arpeggio position shape. I'm going to slide up to the second one here. Now, from here, my hand is right here. There's no reason for me to go down to the B here or the C here when I could play the B right here. So I would just start right here and play the first position again. And maybe I'll slide up, but I'm going to slide down because you guys just learned the third position for this. So I'm going to slide down to here and do my third position B. Now I'm set up for the third position on the C. Sorry. And now I'm set up to do it here. And I'm already in place to do the first position of the minor C. It is up to me whether I want to go higher or lower. Since you guys just learned the lower, we're going to go lower. So I just did the first position. We're going to slide down. Okay? So that is one example. Let's do another example. Let's start here instead. Now I'm going to do the entire song right here. So we're going to start with the G major, the second shape that you learned, and go back down. The first shape for B, the first shape for C, and the first shape for C minor. Now we can do it down here as well. We're going to use the first shape for G major, the third shape for B major because it's right here, the third shape for C major right here, and the third shape for C minor right here. You can see how powerful that is, right? Let's show you another example way up here. I'm going to start with the G major, which is right here on the 10th fret. And how do I know that? Because I know the G major is right here, the second position, and the third position starts where the second position ends, right? So let's start with the G major right here. Now I want to do the C major, the B major. Well, on the last lesson, you guys learned that one of the B major shapes starts on the 11th fret right here. And the C major starts right here. And the C minor starts right here. So that is how you play the whole song in one shape. In one position, the whole song in another position, and the whole song in another position. And after you get above the 12th fret, everything repeats up here, right? So the longer your neck is, the more shapes you can go and the higher octaves you can go. This guitar is a travel guitar because I'm at work, and it only has 20 frets, 15, 17, 19, 20, yeah. So it doesn't go as high as my guitar at home, which has 24 frets. But you don't really need 24 frets once you learn how to use the entire neck. It sounds pretty fantastic no matter how large your guitar is. Even a classical guitar where you can only reach the 12th fret, you can still play a lot of arpeggios with 12 frets. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is keep practicing going from one shape to the next, maybe from the first arpeggio to the second arpeggio to the third arpeggio shape in major. Just switch it up. Switch it up. What I do is I practice going up and down, and what's convenient. So if I want to start here on the first shape for the G, I make a decision immediately. Do I want to go higher or do I want to go lower? You guys have not seen the higher one for G yet, so I'm going to slide up. And now I am in a perfect position to start my B major right here. Right here. Now I have a choice. Do I want to go way up here to do the other B, which sounds really cool, or from the B, which is right here again, I can go down to this B. If I do go down to this B, you can see I'm set up for the C right here. And now I can choose again. Do I go way up to the C up top? Or do I go down? And so you guys can see I'm going to go down. Sorry. Right here. And there are countless examples. Countless examples, so I'm not going to waste your time by showing you all of them. What I wanted to show you is how they tie together. The next step is simply practicing going from the first shape to the second shape to the third shape and back and forth in both major and minor and in different keys. So what we're going to do next is talk about different chords. I'm going to show you different chords so that we can actually practice on top of the backing tracks I was talking about in the previous lesson. Last thing before I go, on the third major shape, this one, I want you guys to know where the tonic is, right? So we're starting here on the C major, 3rd fret. Sorry. And what I want you to know is, here's one of the tonics. So that note right there is a tonic, and then you skip. There's another tonic. There's another tonic. So because I'm in this position, this is a C, this is a C, and this is a C. But if I were to move it up here to do the G shape, this is still a G, and this is still a G, and this is still a G. Okay? So I want you guys to know that the tonics don't change their position in the shape. You just change what chord shape you're playing by where you are on the neck. So that was the tonic location for the major. For the minor, I'm going to show you the C minor. It was like this. Now for this one, this tonic is still here. The C is there, and this tonic is still here. The C is there, okay? And the tonic is still here. The C is there. So when you're playing this minor C, it's just like the major C as far as the location of the tonics. Alright? And once again, I recommend that you practice knowing where the tonics are. We'll talk about the thirds and the fifths later. Really, that is about the biggest part of this method is learning how the three shapes connect, and we're going to practice that in the next lessons. Hope you enjoyed this. It only gets better from here. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.